Hey everyone, welcome back to the Weekly Entertainment Bubble. I'm your host and MyHighPlains.com correspondent Erin Rosas. We're here recapping all of the top trending entertainment stories of the week. And I have here with me Mya Clark, anchor and reporter at KMR Local 4 News. Hey Mya, how's it going?
Good, Erin. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I know, I'm really excited that you're on. We love to gossip. We're probably office gossips, right?
That's true, but it's not about people in the office. It's about celebrities, so it makes it better.
Yes, it's not about people. We're doing celebrities. And I think the first story really intrigued us because it's about anchors on GMA3, Amy Robach and TJ Holmes. They're reportedly been having an affair for a while. The timeline is a little iffy. I feel like there's a ton of speculation on the timeline of events. It just came out in late November, photos from the Daily Mail, bunch of pictures of them holding hands, having a good old time. Now we are in media, we're in news, so it hit hard for us. We're like, how are we going to dissect this? I mean, what do you think about the story, about the reports about them together? And when you first saw those photos, did you come to the conclusion they've been having an affair, they're both married, but we all know that this is an affair?
Yeah, I was definitely like, oh, they've been having an affair for a while. They were so comfortable with each other, and it kind of seems like they weren't even really trying to hide it at this point. Like at bars together, taking vacations together, just like very cuddly and coupled up. And as more information comes out, it's just like, this is not the first time either one of them have been in this situation, is how it seems, is what people are kind of like speculating and saying.
So much speculation. Hey girl, I'm going to move your mic a little closer. Do you want to move it just like a little closer to your mouth? Just so like, yeah, that's cool. Good. That's perfect. Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was like, let me tell you.
You're good. So this is allegedly what people are saying is that this isn't her first affair and that it's also not his first affair. Because people are saying that he had an affair with their producer a while ago and that the producer was confiding in Amy about it, and then her and Amy had a falling out because of the alleged affair. And so it's just like this web of lies that keeps getting like bigger and bigger.
It's a little nuts to really think about it because I am fascinated by it. And I know I'm like, it's gossip and blah, 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 but you can't help get invested when you see the photos that it's like, and I'm looking at all of these photos of them together, right? So there's reports that they got close because they were running a New York marathon together. They were training for that in June. Then they also went, or in the spring, and then in June, they went to the Queen's Jubilee. So that was a whole nother situation. There was reports that they were getting close then, and then obviously, we saw that clearly they've been comfortable with each other. And I saw a thing where it said that they had to go to producers like years before, I think a year or two before, and said, hey, nothing's happening, but I know we're getting audience members or viewers saying they're looking real comfortable on that sofa together.
Right. And I think that when people notice it over like a year ago, it's like, okay, well, how long has this actually been going on? Because we're just finding out about it. But they know the timeline. And I think that them both separating from their spouses around similar times, and now they're both getting divorces. It's like, okay, clearly this isn't just something that's been going on since the summer. You're not going to just be like, all right, divorce.
Oh, absolutely. And the web keeps growing because, like you said before, there was rumors about years before TJ had an affair with a GMA producer. And then reports are indicating that she was about to announce that her and Andrew Shue from Melrose Place were going to get a divorce. It was already in the works, and they sold their apartment in NYC for $5 million. And so I think a week before the reports came out that they were having an affair, that all of this was already coming together. And that's why some people were saying, oh, it wasn't a full-fledged affair. Like she was planning, they had already split, separated, they were living separate lives and all of that. But I still think for many reasons, the gossip pool, everyone's going to be chatting like, okay, but you guys on paper are still married. Yeah. So this is not a good look. What was I going to say? ABC vice president took them off air. They had gone back on air a couple times, and everyone's like, oh, they don't care. ABC does not care. They put them on TV, put them right next. How do you feel about them? If you were a producer, and which I know you do some producing here, would you have put them back on screen the next day sitting right next to each other? Or would you have said, let's not put you guys on until we talk about this more?
I think not put them on until the company as a whole knows what's going on, because everything at this point is just a lot of he said, she said, and a lot of speculation. But I think that if internally you know what's going on, it makes it a lot easier to kind of control the narrative. But right now, they have no control over the narrative. Everybody is just like, they're cheaters, they're bad people, and it's getting them views. I mean, no doubt that their ratings are probably skyrocketing right now because everybody wants to see it and see them. And it's like, I'm like, well, they're not even on during the peak hours. It's like midday. So people are really having to make an effort to tune in. And so I think that from a rating standpoint, it's like, all right, well, let's maybe keep them on. But from a personal standpoint, it's like, I think people are questioning the culture of their work environment.
Right. And I think the president of ABC on a phone call had said, okay, well, we're going to now take them off because this is, we don't want this type of eyes on us, you know, where everyone's just waiting for them to say, you know, announce or speak on their relationship. But I'm like, girl, you put them on for a couple times. Yeah. You had to know that, first of all, your ratings were probably going to go up. Yeah. Because everyone's looking at them like, oh, the tension and just all of that tension. So that's what I found interesting, that she's like, oh yeah, okay, that's okay. Like, we'll put you on a couple times. I don't know if there's a lot of chess play here. Do you know what I mean? Like, she was being very like, okay, let's put them on a little bit, see how that goes, get some ratings there. And then, I don't think that's the case. I think maybe they wanted to put them.
I think they wanted to brush it under the rug, but I think that it's become more distracting than anything. Because if I watch the show, I'm not going to be thinking about what they're talking about. I'm looking at them to see their chemistry, their body language. Right. I don't care if they're telling me about some health and wellness. Like, I'm looking at their body language.
Girl, we were watching. So in the newsroom, we have a ton of TVs on all different channels, right? And me and one of the coworkers, Cheryl, she produces here for Studio 4. The next day after this broke, our eyes were hooked to, their show they call it Good Morning America. It's not morning. The ones they anchor, it's GMA 3. That's literally in the afternoon. So we were glued to the TV just waiting, and they had made little quips like, oh, what a week and stuff.
When he said that, he was like, don't you just want this week to keep going? No, it's not funny. Like,
yeah, no, it's not. I'm laughing now because we can. We're not in the thick of it. But I found it so interesting that they did that. And I'm like, so I'm that type of person. Whenever I feel cornered, anxious, frightened, nervous, I will do little quips like that. Like, oh, what a week. So I understand why they did that, because they were maybe trying to break a little tension or something. But yeah, no, I definitely think they either should have separated them on the show, put someone in between them. It was almost like, to me, a mic drop.
Yeah.
Do you know, when they put them together, it was kind of like a mic drop, because I'm like, oh, they don't care.
Yeah.
They're sitting right next to each other having a good old time.
Right. I think they should have just addressed it head on. Like, now people are going to be talking about it. Nobody cares what their segments are on the show. Like, everybody's like, look, I don't care what you have to say. I'm here to, hear about your affair. That's what I want to know about. And I think it's just interesting how many pictures have come out as well. And TJ's wife is a lawyer. I feel like cheating on a lawyer is probably one of the worst things you can do.
Yeah. So I have a video where I pulled up, we got to look at it. But it's like her wife, or his wife, and she's a lawyer, and she seems like a baddie, right? She would have zero problems. But I do hear, like I said, I wonder if she knew about that first affair, if she had heard about it and was like, and then they dissected his Instagram. First of all, TJ and Amy deleted their Instagrams.
Right.
Andrew Shue, Robach's husband, deleted all photos of her off of his Instagram account right from the get-go. I think it was the next day or next 2 days later or something. So that was a whole thing. And I was like, oh, this is about to get juicy. This is not some little story. It was, by the way, I'm digital here at KMR, so I follow Google Trends. It was number one for 2 days.
Yeah.
Number one, their names up there for 2 days. Oh, okay, so it's showing the Reese Witherspoon thing. Can you tell us a little bit about the Reese Witherspoon thing?
Okay, so they had Reese Witherspoon on the show a few weeks ago or months ago, however long ago it was. And basically she was talking about her latest show, some of the story ideas, and how like it's basically like juicy and scandalous. And they were like, oh, we could give you some storylines, kind of alluding that like there was something going on behind the scenes.
Look at her, she's like...
I think they're terrible actresses and actors when it comes to being discreet about things.
It's so crazy and it's funny to me. I know it's really not because it's people's lives, but it's funny to me, like when you know the gossip, when you know the details and some of the truths, and then you go back and you look at stuff and you're like, oh girl.
You're like, that makes a lot of sense now.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense why they reacted this way, why they did this, why they were like, oh, we have some awesome office gossip, Reese Witherspoon.
They are the gossip.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they were the gossip. And so I am very curious if they keep their relationship alive. Oh, also, to throw this in here, we'll conclude it here, but a lot of Robach's friends and who she hangs out with are saying, get away from this dude, maybe. It might. Now, this is speculation, but I saw it on a couple sources, like on Us Magazine. They were saying that her friends were like, you are very career driven, you love your family, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if he's the best guy for you. I'm curious if they stay together.
I agree because I think that relationships start like this. Once kind of the magic of it goes away, the butterflies are gone and reality settles in. I think that's when you really get to see their true character. And right now, I think that they're both each other's escape from their own personal lives. But then when they become each other's full personal lives and the dust settles, it's like, how long is this actually going to stay active? Because I think that something like this could probably do more damage to her career than it could do to his career, because it doesn't sound like this is his first affair.
Yes. So we'll keep you guys updated. We always have stories on myhighplains.com. We had one about when these two got pulled off the air because they said, no. Yeah. So I think we'll keep up to date on their relationship and what's going on. I want to move on really quick to the 2022 People's Choice Awards. So there was a couple, how do you feel about fashion? Are you like a big person that loves fashion, loves design?
I love fashion and fashion trends, but I think that my style compared to a lot of celebrity styles, it's very just like basic, simple, understated. And then celebrities will walk out and just like the most outrageous clothes sometimes. And I'm like, it looks good on them, but the average person, no. But I love seeing the creativity that comes from these award shows.
Yeah, so everyone is talking about, they're talking about Shania Twain, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, so she's 57 and she looks awesome.
Yeah.
So she received the Music Icon Award at the People's Choice Awards. There was a couple other people that received big awards. Lizzo did, and also Ryan Reynolds he received just like a normal Icon Award. Mm-hmm. It's Ryan Reynolds. But everyone was talking about Shania Twain, that pink hair. Do you like the pink hair, first of all?
I'm not mad at it. I kind of like it. I think it's always fun when people kind of experiment with different hair colors and figure out what works for them. I think it kind of helps you see their personality too.
For sure. And I like that she's like, they're saying a music icon. She's a phenomenal country musician, artist, whatever. So I love that she's taking risks.
Yeah.
Because I would have never put her in this. I don't know. Because it's like... It's
dramatic, and I feel like it's not something you would typically see her in.
Yeah. And then
she looks good in it.
I definitely think she looks, I'm going to go down a little bit.
Dwayne Wade.
Do you like the purple?
Simple. Keeping it simple.
Yeah.
I say simple, but his outfit's probably like well over $5,000.
Oh, easily. That jacket, I almost think that jacket alone is $5,000. And then the shoes are probably like $1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, Dwayne Wade. Do you watch Grey's Anatomy?
I do watch Grey's. I've watched every single season. I love a good jumpsuit moment. So
it's giving me like David Bowie vibes or something.
Party at the disco.
Would I wear that? I don't,
A New Year's party.
A New Year's party, yes. Jumpsuits, the only thing I don't like about jumpsuits, and I'll keep this as PC as possible, is going to the bathroom may not be the easiest in a jumpsuit.
It's hard.
Absolutely not. I don't think I can. Okay, she's looking Carrie Underwood. Grandma?
Yeah, I don't think that she even, if you scroll back up to her face, she doesn't even look the most comfortable in it. It's not bad, but I don't know. I don't really,
It's giving me Grandma Doily vibes. Like, you know when you would go into your grandma's house and she would have on her table or something, on the dining room table, she would just have that as decor. And then she'd be like, well, for now we're going to eat over here. Yeah. But then on traditional days like Thanksgiving, that's what it reminds me of. So specific.
I wonder the texture of that thing.
Celeb crush? Is Ryan Reynolds your celeb crush?
He's not mine, but I mean, I think he went just classic with the suit.
Yeah, very classic. Like, I think he looks good. I don't think anything he wears would ever make him look bad.
Yeah.
And so I think classic is always good. And then you have, so there was a lot of fashion. It's not the Oscars, by the way.
Yeah.
So you could kind of get away with, okay, Billy Porter.
Yeah.
I think he looks good.
I think every time that Billy Porter's on the red carpet, he makes a statement.
Yeah, he knows how to shut it down. Like, he knows when Billy Porter arrives, it's going to be a whole thing. Yeah. Like, you have to look at it and just dissect it, and it's always really good.
Demands your attention.
Okay, I love it. See, I would wear this.
I like it. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of, like, lingerie.
It does, because especially the top, I think, reminds me of lingerie.
I don't like the bell. It's just so, like, bulky in the middle. But I do like it, though.
I honestly don't mind it. Like, it's something I would wear, so I don't know. But yeah, so Shania Twain performed. I know I'm skipping back and forth, but, like, I think she will forever be iconic. I think she'll be 80, and she will still be rocking it. She'll be like a Madonna. You know, Madonna's like mid-60s, and she's still doing whatever she wants. Yeah. And so I think, this is some of Shania Twain's performance, and, like, for
People
some
will
reason
still be screaming, "Let's go, girls."
Let's go. And the pink hair, she looks good in it. I think she rocks it.
Yeah, with the red too. I think that was a really good choice from her and her team. Or maybe it's pink. Is that a pink suit or red?
I think it's pink. Look, okay, well, here when Ryan Reynolds is freaking out, it's because, there's that line where she's like, so you think you're Brad Pitt? That don't impress me much. Or whatever.
Yeah.
She says Ryan Reynolds. So he's like, oh, me.
You know my name?
He's like, oh, wow. Dude, if Shania Twain knew my name, she's awesome. So I think she's an incredible performer, but I wanted to dissect a little of their looks, because I do like fashion, but I'm the person that I can look at it all day, but I'll never, ever be able to put that, that outfit together. Okay, so this is what we're moving on to. Something me and you are obsessed with. We're going to move on to some Netflix shows. We'll start out with Love is Blind.
Let's get into it.
Because I know you are, I love it as well, but I think this is what me and you connected with.
Yeah.
Because, you've been here a little while and we hadn't really chatted, but as soon as we started talking about Love is Blind, it was like next level. Yeah. So really quick, we'll go through Love is Blind. 5 couples ended up being together, trying to figure out if they want to marry each other. 2 ended up being married, and then the other 2, or then another person got married, and then 3 couples ended up breaking up, splitting. So we know that. But the one we really want to talk about, SK and Raven. And I'll pull up their Instagrams because I think it's important to kind of see who we're talking about. Because if you've never seen Love is Blind, we're just randomly talking about people. So SK's on the right. Yeah. So he's on the right, and him and Raven, I'll show you guys Raven really quick. They did not walk. This was her on her wedding day on Love is Blind. They did not say yes. He said no.
She said yes.
She said she was going to say yes. And he said no. So they tried to make it work. I'll let you take it from here after they tried to make their relationship work after saying no to each other at the altar.
They tried to make it work. It seems like they were kind of on and off is what they were both saying. But in times when they were both on and off, this is where it gets a little fuzzy. Quite a few women have came out to say, SK's been cheating on you. He's been taking me to Mexico, to all these other places, just jet setting, catching flights. No feelings, just vibes.
Catching flights.
Just vibes. No. And I think the first person who really said it on TikTok, her name is Hannah, and she came with receipts, with pictures, with text messages, videos. And she had the timestamps on them, and it just really spiraled after this. Since then, they have deleted all their pictures together. And so they broke up.
Together, yeah.
They said they broke up, but they wouldn't talk about it because of the pending legal case. And I think that allegedly people are saying the case is against one of the girls who spoke out and said that he cheated. But I don't know really what the case would be about. Like, can you really sue someone for saying that you're a cheater?
Yeah, no, you can't. Because I think you can do defamation. It's really hard to win a defamation lawsuit.
Right.
Really hard. So everyone in this world is probably calling everyone cheaters. That's an exaggeration. But a lot of people in this world.
Yeah.
So you can't just go off of that. There has to be evidence, proof, like hard evidence. Even photos and all of that, I don't think will do a defamation lawsuit justice, right? Like you're not going to. But here's the frustrating part. I remember talking to you and I was like, when they were together just dating after the show, and we're like, oh my gosh, they might make this work. Mm-hmm. I was like, I love SK. He's awesome. He's the only one I would want to be with. I think he's such a good guy. He's going to school in California. Mm-hmm. And literally, I think it was maybe a day or two later, like, hey, here's some TikToks of these girls saying he was on vacation while he was dating her. I'm like, oh my gosh. What? And she was not addressing it. They still, after all this came out, they still had pictures for, was it like a week?
It was like a week.
And then all of a sudden, bam, pictures all deleted. And that's when we knew that was it for them.
But here's the thing, though. I think that watching the show, like, I thought that Raven was on the show to promote her Pilates for the simple reason that when guys were trying to open up to her, she was in there doing jumping jacks. And that will never not make me laugh because, girl, this guy's like pouring his heart out to you and you're doing jumping jacks. Now, keep in mind, Bartiz probably did deserve that. Just knowing how he kind of turned out.
He was horrible, by the way.
Like, but still, and I think it's funny because like SK was like, yeah, like my dad has multiple wives, but I'm not into that. And it doesn't really seem like that's the case.
Girl. It was a jumping jack thing that did it for me when she was doing that. I'm like, he's literally pouring it. It was about his parents or something, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, my childhood something. And she was doing some kind of jumping jacks. And I think this is why I love shady shows because I totally respect editors.
Yeah.
They know what moments to cut, what to leave in, what angles to put where stuff looks shady. Totally respect it. I want to see all of that. I don't want to see some cookie cutter show. So I love that they put some kind of audio under her when she was like doing. So, but dang it, they didn't work out and I'm frustrated.
See, I'm not really that surprised that some of these couples don't work out. I think the first season of Love is Blind, great, and it probably should have ended there.
Yeah.
But I think that now the people who are going on this show, a lot of them kind of seem to be doing it for attention and for clout. And so I think that if they're going to have a show like this and they actually want to see if the experiment works, then they should probably have some sort of like counselors and therapists on the show to help them navigate it so that way they're actually addressing the issues.
Yes. And so I have a whole photo of all of them. So, and then Alexia, which is the second girl from the left, she ended up getting married to Brennan. Mm-hmm. So they're currently married. There's photos of them all over the place. They seem to be working out okay. We'll see where that goes because I think there's only right now 2 couples from season 1 still together. Mm-hmm. Everyone else, 2 couples, and then right now the 2 couples are from season 3 are still currently together, but we'll see how long that lasts. This just finished airing, so.
Yeah. I think Alexa and Brennan, though, I would forget Brennan was on the show. He was boring.
He was boring.
I didn't enjoy watching him.
Yeah.
And also, I think I shared this TikTok with you where it was the court documents, the alleged court documents from Dallas County, basically saying that he was involved in a domestic, violence situation. And, the court documents are there and it's all, people are like, okay, well, at first he kind of just brushed over it, said it wasn't true in a podcast that he did. But now it's it's hard to deny that if there's actually court documents that are saying that it did happen. And so I think that it said that it happened January of 2021. I cannot figure out the timeline of when they filmed season 3 of Love is Blind.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm confused about too. Because some people said they've ended in 2021, and then it was some said 2020. So the timeline of when also filmed in Dallas. If anyone we're in Texas. But yeah, so we're going to kind of end it there for the Love is Blind talk, because I really quickly want to get into the Harry and Meghan Markle. I was going to say Harry Styles.
Wrong Harry.
The docu-series that's on Netflix, it's all about Harry and Meghan, and it's very interesting looking. We all know what we hear in the media about this couple, right? That there was a lot about race. There was a lot about them wanting to leave the royal family because they felt controlled in some way. Right. Me and Cheryl went ham on this and talked about it forever. We were like, well, I understand where they left, but at the same time, when you're still there, which at the beginning when they got married, they were still technically and they were there. It's maybe a little disrespectful because you knew all of this was going to happen.
Right.
And then maybe it was better to like, maybe you can't blame all of this on that because you knew it was. Now, the race stuff, of course, it's never okay. That's horrible. But it looks very interesting. First 3 episodes are out. I know we'll probably be watching.
Yeah.
What do you think about their relationship?
I like their relationship. I think that you can tell from, it looks like they both care about each other from just what you see in their interactions. And I think that as far as being a part of the royal family, it seems like a hard job. It's not a job that I think I would want to be a part of. It seems a little stressful. And so I think that it'll be interesting to hear their side of the story, because I feel like we've basically only heard everybody else's side. Everybody's just kind of like, she's a bad person, he abandoned his family. But I think that a lot of times what people kind of brush over is like, once you get married, you're creating your own family. And you have to make the decision to decide what's best for you. And I think that them leaving, I don't think it was disrespectful. I think they did what was best for them. Mm-hmm. Because I think that Harry kind of seemed like he's always been the sibling that, he's a little bit of a rebel compared
like
to
a black sheep, right? Like he did not want to be in the royal family. And he said this years before he met Meghan. He was like, yeah, this isn't for me, or whatever that.
Right. And I think that that's true. And so I think that this was part of his out. And I don't blame him. If someone's being rude to like the guy that I marry, I'm not going to want to sit around them, family or not, especially if it's not getting better. Because as royals, you have the power to control the narrative and control the media over there. And they just let it keep coming out and like putting Kate and Meghan against each other. It was just like,
it was a lot to handle because there was so many different reports. No one knew whether to look left or right. Mm-hmm. Like it was so much coming out, and then they left. So the only thing I will say, because I have, as if anyone cares but I'm saying I have no issue with them leaving the royal family. I think we all knew Harry was, like I said, the black sheep, maybe didn't want to be in there. So I think it's fine. Them moving, coming over here, living in California, having kids, blah, blah, blah. I think that's fine. I think the issue was like, they started talking about, they did the Oprah interview, and it was kind of like, these are family issues. Why are you putting them in the media? So that I kind of understood, but I totally, agree that if they wanted to get up and move, and, she was an actor before this, an actress, did all this, Suits. She was on Deal or No Deal, which is now, she was. But I think there's so much we could talk about here. Yeah.
And I don't know. I think them doing the interview over here, I think that it was fair because all of the newspapers and news outlets over there were completely dragging them. And so I think that at some point you have to stand up and defend yourself. And I think that that's what the Oprah interview did, because we were only hearing one side of the story for so long. And this allowed us to hear both sides.
Yeah, I think maybe they probably got tired and were like, listen, it's time for us to be heard. And some of the points that were made in this docu-series was that a lot of things were for optics. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the things that was said in the docu-series was that right after they got engaged, they literally went straight to camera, and that someone told them, some rep was like, hey, show off the ring, show the ring. Mm-hmm. So everything was very well placed, and they maybe felt like they didn't have the control that they wanted, right? Or they couldn't really be truthful in their own relation, showing people their truth, their moments or whatever, because they felt like everyone was like, be here, do this, show this, look at this. Right. And so they needed out. But I think that was one of the revelations in the docuseries that people will see if they tune in Netflix.
Right.
Let's end this really quick. We're ending it on a sad note because Kirstie Alley, star of Cheers, has died at the age of 71. I was a fan of Kirstie Alley's. She did shows that I really liked. There was a movie that she did called Drop Dead Gorgeous. You need to watch it. It's from the 90s. It's all about like the pageant scene, but imagine it like it was really good.
Right. I think that she just played a likable character in a lot of the stuff that she was in.
Yes.
So it made you want to gravitate towards things that she did.
And I think people were saying she had died of colon cancer and that it was she was just diagnosed. It wasn't like she had it for years. And then she passed away. Her kids on Instagram put something up that said, our dear mom passed away. And then it came out that it was colon cancer that she passed away. So it's sad. And it's always sad when, I know like for me, Robin Williams kind of hit me really hard. Yeah. There's some actors like Prince.
Yeah.
There's some performers that like, it does hit you in the gut a little bit.
That was Whitney Houston for me. And Michael Jackson. I was in Detroit, Michigan when Michael Jackson died with my mom.
I can't even remember where I was at. But I remember oh my gosh, for obvious reasons, it's Michael Jackson. Yeah. The media attention that I got, was just incredible. So it's always crazy and we, like I said, we are a media source. So we jump on all of that. We want people to see what they were in, a life in pictures kind of thing.
The same with Chadwick Boseman. I think
that was awful. Yeah.
I was in class that day. It was like,
yeah, it's always hard to get, like, I get notifications because I follow all this entertainment stuff and it's like, Chadwick Boseman has died. I'm like, oh my God, it's devastating.
See, I could not do that. I don't have any notifications on my phone. None.
You don't?
No, like if someone calls me, they have to call twice. My phone's always on Do Not Disturb. I get text messages. The only text messages that come directly through my mom. Well, but everybody else, I don't see it until I like pick up my phone.
I think it's smart though. Like sometimes I have my phone on Do Not Disturb with a lot of things like at night, but I agree. There's some things where I'm like, I have entertainment sources. I'm like, I don't want to know that person, like can be devastating. Some of the things that pop in there, like at 10 p.m. and you're like, why did I leave this phone on?
All that turned off.
I know. Mya, thank you so much for coming on here. Me. I always love chatting with you because I think we think the same a lot of times.
Yeah, I feel like it's always like good, like banter. And I think that we're both kind of interested in what's going on. And it's funny because it's like, this doesn't affect our lives in any way. And these are rich people problems. Like these are rich people problems that we talk about. And so it's funny to kind of have like an escape and something else to enjoy.
I was going to say it's like complete pure escapeness, right? Yeah. And I think that we love chatting about it just because we can't help it, but we just love the tea. You know what I mean? We love it. So thank you, Mya, and I hope you come on again.
Yes.
And you guys have an incredible weekend. I will see you next Friday. Bye, guys.